my daddy one day, I'ma give him real racks. Yeah. And I ain't gonna stop till when you on the top, like, yeah, yeah. We been on the bottom too long, now it's time to go way up, yeah. I done been down bad, I done been out here really lacking. Where your cash at, some of these rappers really cap. Yeah, my OG showed me the game and told me how to make it happen. He said make your money, pay it forward, and just keep on stacking. Stupid dumb money, gotta spend it wild.
We ready to roll, y'all. I'm using this for IG today.
That's on God. No levels, no doubles, what they say. Walk in and proceed to let it spray. Yeah, the one that we following.
What's up, family? Everybody that's coming on, I want you to like, share, and invite lolly dolly everybody, all your family members, all your friends. I have a amazing discussion that I want to engage with you on. So please share this video. Invite your family members and friends to come on and join us today. We live, y'all. Facebook, we live. Periscope, right? Periscope, we live. YouTube, we live. IG, we live. It's Thursday. God is good. This is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. So please, ladies and gentlemen, do your boy a favor. Please like this video. Please share this video. And please invite all of your family members and friends to join you today so we can be a part of this discussion that will be centered around the best way for you to get into business. All right, let's like, let's share, let's invite our family members and friends to be a part of this conversation. We're in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Hey, Helen, how you doing, girl? Daughter, we're in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, AKA the Beverly Hills of the South, AKA the financial district of Atlanta. We out here in these streets of Buckhead. We got to give a shout out to the city. God has placed us in the heart of Buckhead. Behind you, if you can see IG, I know you can see it right there. Those of you that are on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube, you can see behind me the Buckhead Business District skyline, and we are humbled, we're honored, we're proud to be in the position that we're in to have these discussions with you with regard to biblical economics. I don't believe those of us who are in the faith community, those of us who are saved, those of us who love God, I don't believe we have a spiritual problem right now. I don't believe we have a social problem right now. I truly believe we have an economic problem right now. And if we're able to take the revelation that we believe God has afforded to us concerning economics, concerning financial freedom, concerning entrepreneurship, business ownership, investments, and wealth building, if we can take that revelation and if we can connect and complement that revelation with real intelligence, real information, and put that intelligence and information to practice, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish as people of God. The Bible says that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. Well, I'm going to be the one to tell you, if that wealth is in the hands of the wicked and you ain't financially literate and you don't know nothing about entrepreneurship, business ownership, investments, wealth building, that wealth going to stay in the hands of the wicked, because although they might be wicked, they are intelligent. They are well informed. That's why they got it. And so if we're going to see that transfer take place, we're going to need more than just a shout. We're going to need more than just a good tongue talking. We're going to need more than just a good 3-day revival. We're going to need to do more than just touch each other in service and tell each other we're going to come out and we the head and not the tail. We're going to have to complement that revelation with intelligence, with information, that we can put to practice. So today I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about the best way to get in business. I want to ask a few questions for those of you that are on IG, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. By the way, for those of you that are not on YouTube right now, I want you to visit our YouTube page. Please help us reach 1,000. Wow. We are on a journey to reach at least 1,000 followers on YouTube. Moan, cameraman, content creator. Where we at, dog? Where we at, daughter? We at where? We at 9 what?
That's what she said, 9:35.
We at 9:35? That's where we at?
Yeah.
We're at 9:35, so that means we are 65 subscribers short for hitting 1,000. So please, all y'all on LinkedIn, all y'all on IG, all y'all on Facebook, all y'all on Periscope, make sure, of course, when the video ends, unless you got another device, that you go over to youtube.com/Ramonepreston, or just go to YouTube and type in Ramonepreston, and when our page comes up, you click that bell, that button to subscribe so that we can hit 1,000 at least before 2020 comes to a close. We have less than 50 days remaining in this year, so let's make sure we do that. Now, before I share with you a few things centered around the best way to get in business, I got a question I want to ask. Somebody answer this question. If you are not in business, what exactly is keeping you from getting into business? I'm not even going to ask you if you want to get in business, because I know you do. So if you're not in business, what's keeping you from getting into business? What is the one thing that you think, or you might have 2 or 3 things? I really want to know that. Somebody help me with this questionnaire that I'm posing to everybody. If you are not in business right now, what is the one, or what are the 2 or 3 things that's keeping you from getting into business? And if you are in business, if you have a legitimate business established, what is the one thing, or what are the 2 or 3 top things that you believe are keeping you from succeeding in business or making money in business? Like, what exactly is in your way? What do you feel like your biggest roadblock is? I want to know that. Can anybody answer that critical question on Facebook, on IG, on YouTube, on Periscope? We ain't on LinkedIn Live yet. We still waiting on the approval. It's been, what, 3 weeks? We still ain't got no approval. Tighten up, LinkedIn. Yeah. We got over 6,000 followers on LinkedIn. So that should mean something to LinkedIn. I know they got a lot of big ballers and shot callers on LinkedIn, but we ain't no scrubs. Now we got 6,000 people, more than 6,000 people following us on LinkedIn. Okay, Kiara, her answer is time. Time. She says, time. I'm always at work. Kiara, Prophetess Lachelle, she is laughing at you right now. She says time is her biggest roadblock, her biggest issue. Time. Anybody else? Anybody else has an answer to why? Why? She says she's there right now.
I know, right?
She at work right now. That is too funny.
Right.
So if you're not in business, what's keeping you? Kiara over in IG says time is keeping her. If you're in business, what's keeping you from making money? What's keeping you from producing and succeeding in the business? That's very, very important. Now listen to this. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why most people don't get into business, and the people who get into business fail once they get into business. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why people who don't get into business never get into business, and why people who get into business fail in the business. But again, our discussion is centered around the best way to get into business. I want to show you the low-hanging fruit to getting into business, and hopefully when you learn this, you stay in the business. Now, some of you might not know this. Let me give you a few statistics for 2020 when it comes to business. this year, within the last 8 months, we're talking about within this COVID-19 pandemic season for the last 8 months or so, there were over 150,000 businesses that were publicly marked as temporarily closed when COVID-19 hit. Think about that. Over 150,000 businesses were publicly marked as temporarily closed. Over 150,000 businesses. That's a lot of businesses in the United States of America, just here in this country. When COVID-19 hit, 150,000 businesses marked themselves publicly as temporarily closed. We through. We ain't open. We closed. All right? Now, here is what I want to attach to this statistic that I'm sharing with you. 60% of those businesses that temporarily closed will not reopen. So out of 150,000 businesses that temporarily closed, what's up, Unc? Thomas, love you. Out of the 150,000 businesses that temporarily closed at the onset of this COVID-19 pandemic, 60% of those businesses will not reopen. That's 100,000 out of 150,000 businesses that will not open again. They gone. That's 100,000 businesses that have been wiped out. They're no longer existing. But there's a lot of value even in this conversation, because some of you have business ideas. Some of you have certain talents and certain skill sets and gifts and capabilities that are directly associated to at least one or maybe a few of those 100,000 plus businesses that closed and won't reopen even when this COVID-19 pandemic is officially ended. So that means, guess what? There are a lot of businesses that have equipment that you can purchase at a discount price. There are a lot of businesses that have databases or infrastructures or websites or apps or platforms that you could actually purchase to utilize some of the intellectual properties or some of the concepts that they've already built and created to further advance your business. I'm giving you free game right here. So let's say, for example, this is a conversation I had with Kelly them the other day. Let's say, for example, you starting a laundry service. Well, there are companies that have gone out of businesses that have all of the equipment you need, that you can literally take it out of a brick and mortar and put it in a mobile bus or a van or vehicle. And now where people are no longer going to that building for those services, you're bringing those services to them at a discounted price because you were able to get those pieces of equipment for pennies on the dollar, because there are over 100,000 businesses that closed that are no longer opening. Some of you that have virtual businesses, you're providing certain virtual services and you want to scale those services or those products that you're offering beyond your market. Let's say if you're in Atlanta or some other market. Well, guess what? There are companies out of those 100,000 companies that had apps, they had websites, they had infrastructures, and some of these apps and websites cost them tens of thousands of dollars to make. Then you should be reaching out to those companies to see if in fact they're willing to sell that app. They're willing to sell that information or intelligence that they've put together that was running their business. Because now all you're doing is integrating your business into that system that's already been built, or that concept that's already been built. And guess what? You're able to scale at a faster pace. And so over 150,000 businesses marked themselves as temporarily closed when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. And out of those 150,000 plus businesses, and these are just the businesses that we know. We're not talking about a lot of mom and pop businesses that we don't know, a lot of shade tree businesses that were operating under the table that we don't know, and a lot of people who might have not even been mom or pop or shade tree, but just were not on the radar. That 150 could be 200,000. But what we do know based on statistics that have already come out is out of the 150,000 documented businesses that temporarily, that marked themselves temporarily closed during COVID-19 at the onset of it, 60% of them won't open. So that's 100,000 plus businesses right now in the United States of America that either had buildings, they had office space, they had equipment, they had apps, they had websites, things that you can actually use if in fact you want to get in business. If in fact you have a business and you're not able to make money with your business or succeed or produce and scale more products and services in the market with your business. Here's another statistic for those of us who are in the Black community. This is a recent stat that just came out after an economic study was done in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic. And this study is particularly for Black-owned businesses. It has been studied and surveyed and shown that 50% of Black-owned businesses won't survive the negative impact of this COVID-19 pandemic. So that means 5 out of 10 Black businesses won't make it out of this pandemic if they're not already closed. Think about that. Hey, Marquisha, how you doing today? Think about that. 5 out of 10 businesses that are in the Black community are statistically shown to not be able to make it beyond this COVID-19 pandemic. So to simplify it, even before I give you these 3 reasons why you won't get in business if you're not in business, or why you won't succeed in business if you are in business, before I give you that, here is one of the biggest takeaways you can have for this discussion today with regard to the best way to get in business. Here's the best way to get in business. Find the nearest problem and create a solution. That's it. Yep. The best way to get in business, I'm simplifying it for you, is to find the nearest problem and create the best solution. Simple as that. Whatever the problem is. That problem can be on your job right now. You have an overwhelming number of people on your job. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example. You have an overwhelming number of people on your job that want to get something to eat, but where your job is, there's no restaurant close and they just don't want to pay and deal with Uber Eats or DoorDash. Well, guess what? Provide that service for them and pool all of them together and let them know for $25 for all 15 of y'all, I'll go get y'all something to eat. You just created a solution because you found a problem. See, if you're not finding problems in the midst of this pandemic and creating the best solutions for those problems in the midst of this pandemic, you're never going to get in business. And if you're in business and not doing that, you're never going to stay in business. So the best way to get in business is to, number 1, find the nearest problem or problems. It don't matter if it's 20 problems around you. I would find those 20 problems, write those 20 problems down, figure out what the best solution is to those 20 problems, and once I figure out what the best solution is to those 20 problems, introduce those solutions to those 20 problems and attach a monetary value to the solution that you have created. And I guarantee you, guess what? Not only will you get in business, but I guarantee you that you'll stay in business. Because that's what business is all about. Business is all about solving problems. For those of you that are already in business right now, I want you to drop in the comments the kind of problems that you're solving in your business. What kind of problems are you solving in your business? No. So let's say, for example, you are solving a problem. You're a personal assistant. You're solving a problem for an executive. You're providing assistance. You're making calls. You're dealing with things that this executive don't want to deal with. If you wasn't solving a problem, we wouldn't be talking. You get what I'm saying?
I get it.
You're solving problems.
So that's how you say it, because I didn't understand.
You're in business. You are a business, and you're in business.
Okay.
Because as a personal assistant, you are personally assisting someone, and you're solving problems. So anytime I have a problem that comes up, guess what? You immediately figure out a way to solve it.
Yeah.
Give me that. Don't deal with that.
Yeah.
What time is that? Have them to call me. So now every time a problem shows up for me, you snatch that problem and you create a solution so that I don't have to deal with that problem. Guess what that does? That keeps you in business. That keeps you getting drips. That keeps you making money. And if everybody does that on a daily basis, not just personally, but even on their jobs and or even in the marketplace, not only will they get in business and get in more business, but they will stay in business. They will always be able to generate revenue because they're continuing to solve problems. How many of y'all agree with that? Who's listening to me that agrees with what I'm saying? The best way to get in business is to what? I'm giving you the simple version, even before I give you these 3 reasons why most people don't get in business. Kiara says, creating an interactive way for people to learn about the word. You're solving a problem. That's a big problem because most people don't want to learn about the word the conventional way. In other words, most people don't want to grab, unfortunately, most people don't want to grab this, the paper Bible. You know, most people don't even use these paper Bibles. You see how tore up mine is. But most people don't want to use these paper Bibles, and even the Bibles that are on the app, most people don't want to use. And then even when you write books that have the word integrated into the books, a lot of people don't want to read books. The average person only reads 1 book a year. That's one of the statistics I have written down. But when you have a creative and interactive way for people to learn about the word, guess what you're doing? You're solving a problem. You're actually solving a lot of problems. Okay, Tony says, I do. Ashley on Facebook, she says, I agree. That's it. The best way to get in business is to what? To find the nearest problem or problems. That's what your business should be today. Say what, daughter? That's a good example, huh? That was. You're doing that. So some of you, your business should be today is to not just try to sell that product you got, not just to sell that service you have, not just to sell yourself, but to find the nearest problem around you or problems around you and take a few minutes or maybe a couple hours to figure out how can I create the best way to solve that problem today, not tomorrow. Because see, some people see the problem, but they're going to wait till Monday to solve it. And they're going to miss it. Right? They're going to miss it. If I see a problem today, I'm solving it today. I ain't waiting till Monday. One of the worst things somebody can do for real is tell me, oh, I'll get back with you Monday on that. You already fired, and you ain't even got hired. Yeah, I'll get back with you. All right, boo, love you. See you on the other side of my success. But what I ain't finna do is wait for you 4 days when you should have taken 40 minutes to figure out what is the best way to at least solve a portion of the problem or put myself in a position to take the problem from that person and work on a creative strategy to solve it. This is why people don't get it. This is the biggest reason why people don't get in business, and people who get in business don't stay in business. Yeah. So the best way to get in business today, for those of you that want to make money today, whether you work on a job, whether you are unemployed, whether you're on a fixed income, whether you have a legitimate business or a ministry, and you're not in a position to see money made today on your financial radar, the best thing that you can do, the best way you can get it done is to find as many problems as you possibly can. Matter of fact, you should be reaching out to people, asking them, what is your biggest issue today? What is your biggest roadblock? What is your biggest problem today that if you had out of your way, you would be better off? You'd be surprised at what some of the stuff is that people will say. Here's my biggest problem. Here's my biggest issue. Here's my biggest item. And then when they tell you that, like for example, you can have somebody that has a business and they just not making money. And you call them and say, you know what is your biggest issue today? I ain't making no money. Well, what type of products and services do you have? My products and services are A, B, C, and D. Well, if I were to find you business, would you be willing to give me a commission from the business that I find you? Absolutely, if you bring me business. Now, guess what you just did? You just got in business without a product and service. You just leverage your conversation with someone or your relationship with someone, and you got in business. And if you keep doing that, you're going to stay in business. Let me go ahead and give y'all the 3 reasons why most people don't get in business, and the people who get in business, why they don't stay in business. Number 1, somebody need to write this down in the comments too. The number 1 reason is they don't listen to their market. Isn't that good? This for free too. They do not listen to their market. The number 1 reason why most people don't get in business and why most people don't stay in business is they don't listen to their market. They don't listen to their market. I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that once I know you've written it down or you've typed it. They don't listen to their market. Here's what I mean by that. They don't work on getting attention. Nobody knows them. Obscurity is their biggest problem. A lot of people that are listening to me right now don't have a product and service problem. They don't have a creative problem. They don't have an idea problem. They don't have a concept problem. They don't necessarily have a business problem. They have an attention problem. They're not willing to get attention for the problems that they know that they can easily solve. Nobody knows how good of a problem solver you are in that particular market. Nobody knows how good you are in that particular market. The moment you make the decision to listen to your market by going in the market and hearing what the issues are. What are the issues? And then speaking up and saying, hey, I got a solution to that. I got an answer to that. I can actually fix that for you. Guess what happens? You not only get attention, but now you introduce the business that you are and the business that you have to your market, and you put yourself in a better position to make a business exchange. In other words, you put yourself in a better position to give people your time, your talents, and your skills, your gifts, your capabilities, and in exchange, they give you some money for it. So reason number 1 why most people don't get in business. If you're not in business right now and you want to be in business and you have a product or a service, guess what you need to do? Not perfect your product and service. Not pray about it. Not go on a fast. Not seek more wise, godly counsel. But guess what you need to do? You need to get attention. You need to let everybody that knows you and you know, starting there, know what you know. Somebody gonna miss what I just said. I said you need to let everybody that knows you and that you know what you know. Some people don't even know what you know. Think about it. We were just using you as an example. But if we didn't sit down and talk, I wouldn't have knew what you knew.
Right.
You wouldn't have knew what I knew.
Right.
We wouldn't have had a business relationship at all.
Spiritual father.
That's it. Right. Would have been missing that memo. Exactly. Period.
Always been that mental.
That's right. So a lot of people don't get in business, or if they get in business, they don't stay in business because they don't listen to their market. What do you mean I don't listen to my market? I get ideas from people, or I get advice. I'm not talking about ideas and advice. A lot of times people giving you ideas and advice and opinions, they're not even your market. They ain't finna buy nothing from you. And some of the people who do buy something from you only make sympathy purchases. Like, we gotta remember that. Some people who buy stuff from you just make sympathy purchases, which means they're gonna purchase that first time or maybe that second time just out of sympathy. Oh, bless your heart. Oh, we so proud of you. Oh, that's such an awesome thing you're doing. But after that first or second purchase, they ain't buying nothing else from you. It was a sympathy purchase. So you're not taking advice from people who ain't buying nothing from you. And you're not even looking for advice as much as you're just looking to listen to what the problems are in the market that you're entering. I want to find out, what are the problems? Like, prior to me launching our online training university, one of the problems I realized was people did not have the time or the ability to show up and be educated and trained by me in person. There were schedule conflicts. They was just getting off of work. They couldn't keep up with the schedule. It was, just the times that I was having it throughout the year was just not the right times. It was during their vacation week. And so a lot of these things that I listened to played a very important role in me converting all of my in-person courses and seminars and boot camps. That played a big role in me converting that to an online training platform, so that now, whether you're on vacation or not, now, whether you can show up in person to Atlanta or Buckhead or not, you can still have access to me every second, every minute, every hour of every day by the click of a couple buttons, and you see me. Because I put myself in the market, I listened to the market, and I did what was needed and necessary to solve the problem that people had in the market that I was called and assigned to. So that's the number one reason why most people who don't get in business, who don't have a business, don't get in business, and people who get in business don't make it. Number one is they don't listen to their market. Number two, they don't lean into the future. This is the second reason. They don't lean into the future. They don't lean into the future. They don't lean into the future. Now, there's a lot of information that I can share on this, but let me just give you an example of what I mean. We just had this conversation earlier. They don't look for new money. They don't look for new opportunities. They stay stuck, falling back as opposed to leaning forward. Or if they don't fall back, they stay stuck in the present, and they allow the pressure of what they don't see happening to cause them to give up. This is why people fail in business. This is why they go out of business. Instead of leaning in to tomorrow, they either fall back into yesterday or they stay stuck in today. They don't lean into the future. Yeah. So they have a big win today, and then for the next 3 weeks, they just celebrate that one big win they had 3 weeks earlier. They've already lost, though. You get a win today, you should be moving to your next win. You get a win tomorrow, you should be moving to your next win. So the second reason why most businesses don't make it and most people never get in business is they don't lean into the future. So there are people right now who are still trying to become the best brick and mortar business. They're trying to become the best stick and stone person-to-person business when they should take those products and services and convert them to ideas and concepts. Because if you're not converting your ideas and if you're not converting your products and services into ideas and concepts, you're actually not leaning into the future. At all. Because the digitization of society has already been activated. We are moving more and more into a digitized world. And so if you're not moving into that world, if you're not leaning into that world, you are probably antiquated. This is one of the reasons why some of you need to start reaching out to businesses that may have already closed or that won't reopen, who are like in alignment with what you do, to see what type of equipment that they have, what type of systems or software or apps or creative concepts that they were using or even developing that they never got off the ground, or perhaps that they were using but they were just ready to exit because of this COVID pandemic. You need to lean into the future. You need to lean into the future. And number three, the third reason is they don't leverage their time, their talents, and their treasures. They don't leverage their time, their talents, and their treasures. What do you mean they don't leverage their time, their talents, and their treasures? Here's an easy example. They waste too much time on what they're already good at.
Wow.
They waste too much time.
On that.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm self-taught, right? So I've always been self-taught in that I take the initiative to gather a certain amount of information and data on a certain subject that I know I want to learn for the future, and then I carve out windows or seasons of my life to brain dump and to just binge on that data and information until I'm good enough to understand it. So it could be on any subject, all right? And so what happens is, because I'm always leaning into the future, I leverage my time that way by going into the future. I'm already going into 2023, and I'm leveraging my time by gathering data that might not help me today, but that's going to be a game changer for me in 2023. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you're listening to your market and you're finding problems and you're creating solutions to solve those problems, and then as you listen to your market, you start leaning into the future by finding new money, by making new exchanges. Like, I'm not upset with the people that I know or that know me personally who are not purchasing products and services from me. I don't get offended. I don't take it personal. Truth is, I'm gonna just tell this to y'all, I ain't even studying them. Like, I'm not even paying attention to them. You know why? Because I'm too busy leaning into the future. I'm looking to build new relationships. I'm looking to talk to new people. I'm looking to get in front of new circles of influence. I'm looking to find new exchanges outside of the old exchanges or the current exchanges or the old or current relationships, because I know there are almost 8 billion people on planet Earth. And the 30 people that I know or the 58 people that know me ain't gonna get me to where I'm going anyway if all of them bought something. So why am I gonna stay stuck on who I know and who know me, when there's a whole world that I should be getting to know and that I should get attention from, who could get to know me and see what problems I'm able to solve. And when they find out what problems I'm able to solve and I put myself in a position to make exchanges, I can lean in and make those future exchanges for where we're all going beyond yesterday, today, and into tomorrow. And that brings us to the third reason of they don't leverage their time, they don't leverage their talents. So for example, you may say, Kiara mentioned it earlier, time is an issue. Well, time is only an issue in business when you're limited to you. If time is an issue for you, then you need to create a concept that can scale beyond you. You get what I'm saying? So for example, if she has a book or a product that she's selling, it's only so many she can sell. It's only so much she can do. Well, that book or concept needs to be on Amazon, where you can just run an ad and put the link in the ad. And now where you can't even talk to 20 people a day, that ad can talk to 2,000 people a day. Problem solved. So now, and guess what? That ad can run 24 hours a day, even when you sleeping or working. That's how you convert a product and service into a concept. Not trying to find a bookstore to put it in, because nobody's going to a bookstore anyway. But putting it on channels and platforms that are going to get attention, and as a result of getting attention, you're going to make exchanges. And so all of you have to learn to, number one, listen to your market even more. This is something we have to do every day. Number two, lean into the future. Don't get stuck on yesterday's money, on today's money, on yesterday's or today's wins. And number three, leverage our time, our talents, and our treasures. Now, for those of you that have not leveraged your time, your talents, and your treasures by getting more education and information about these things that I'm talking on concerning business or financial literacy or economics or wealth building or investments or entrepreneurship, this is one of the reasons why we have our online training platform, Ramonepreston University, and our signature program on our university platform is a program called the Business Blueprints. These business blueprints are made up of hundreds, literally hundreds of lessons and training modules, video-based, where you can see me and be mentored by me on a daily basis to hear this same message, to get this same information and intelligence and data and content until it grooves into your mind and you actually become the best version of what you need to be in your finances, in your entrepreneurship, in your business ownership, in your ministry leadership, in your investments and wealth building. So for those of you that do not have access to all of these hundreds of virtual video-based training modules that are built into our business blueprints, I want you to either click the link that you see on this video or in the descriptions, and you can make it even easier and text me while we're in the office today. Can they text right now, Donna? They can text right now. You can text right now. You can text the words, I'm ready. I'm ready. You can text the words, I'm ready, to 404-478-7213. You should be listening to your market. You should be leaning into your future. You should be leveraging your time, your talents, and your treasures, especially the few dollars that you're going to invest and use as a tax write-off for your business, but you're going to invest to get access to information like this information, but you're going to be able to have access to me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 or 66 days a year, and it's going to help develop you, groom you, and prepare you for the success that you want to see in your finances, in your entrepreneurship, your business, your ministry, your investments, your wealth building, in all things concerning your economic life. So text the words, I'm ready, to 404-478-7213, 404-478-7213. And all of you, even those of you that have other businesses that are not online, virtual, video-based education and training for economics, you should be using your relationship with me to introduce your clients and customers to this type of information. You should be using your relationship with me to introduce your business partners to this type of information and training. You should be using me and my relationship with you for the people that you want to hire, people that you want to contract your services or your products to or from. You should be using this relationship that you have with us to provide that for them and give them an opportunity to be even better. I would introduce this to my clients and customers. You know why? Because if they become more financially literate, if they become more entrepreneurial or better successful in their business endeavors, guess what happens? They have more money to purchase products and services from me. So we need to create that ecosystem of camaraderie and solidarity among ourselves. If you know anyone, it ain't even if you know anyone, who do you know that needs this business blueprint? Please share this video with them, send them the link, and give them an opportunity to get in where they fit in. I love y'all. I appreciate all of you for joining us today. This was quite a spectacular discussion on the best way to get in business. Some good examples. Yeah, we sure did. We gave some good examples, and we got a little interaction. Every one of you, if you're not on YouTube right now, please, when this video ends, go to YouTube, find Ramonepreston on YouTube, and subscribe. We have 935 subscribers, and our goal is to get to 1,000, wow, so that we can continue to share the content, the information, the intelligence that God has given to us concerning ministry and marketplace leadership. And we've been doing an extraordinary job reaching out to people and sharing this information, intelligence, and content with them, and we're going to continue to do the same. Thank all of you so much for joining us today, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube page. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, IG. Follow us on Instagram, Periscope. Please make sure that you're following us. LinkedIn. Go over to LinkedIn and follow us. Soon, when we get approval, we'll be streaming simultaneously on LinkedIn as well when we're hosting our lives, which seems to be just about every day, Monday through Friday. And we want to put our LinkedIn family on with these discussions as well. So make sure that you share this information with all your family members and friends. And if you have not subscribed to, our email newsletters, if you have not subscribed to our email newsletters, and you have not been able to connect with us through our, the text message?
I told them, please email, text me.
Okay, good.
It's in the link.
Okay, all that's in the link. Just go to the link. Go to the link, go to the comments. Everything we got going on is in the comments. You could just go into the comments and you'll see all the information on there. All right. We love y'all, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow